If you guys are signed up for Oden's Eye Cosmetics newsletter, then you won't really be that surprised about this. This is a new collection, and it's, by the way, the second time that the brand has collabed with these influencers. It includes Annettes Makeup Corner, Fancy Face, and Judy. So this is the second time that they have collaborated with them. I have a whole bunch of people to say thank you to. Makeup on Your Radar, the lovely Madi, who sent me a bunch of screenshots, and I have taken some pictures from Annettes Makeup Corner's own Instagram because she has some fabulous sort of like photos there of these palettes. Let's discuss this. And I don't know about you guys, but I always see it as being a very positive sign when a brand collaborates with an influencer for a second time, because that essentially shows that they've got a really good working relationship. They treat everyone with dignity, respect, etc. So I'm kind of here for that. So this is, by the way, coming out in a little over 2 days, and you can get all of them together, bundled together as part of this legendary Diversa 2 bundle, because obviously they did their legendary Diversa 1 bundle. So if you wanted everything, so that includes a whole bunch of like lip products and the 3 palettes, that's $200.43. But obviously you can get them all separately too. This is the Mighty Monster palette, which is the collaboration between Oden's Eye and Annette, and I gotta say, I mean, Oden's Eye's own kind of palettes always have this sort of artistry behind them, and just the outside of the palette alone looks so beautiful. And this is going to retail for $36.90, and it does look like they have that mixture of mattes and some really special formulas as well. You can see it a little bit better here in the picture that was supplied by Annettes Makeup Corner over on her Instagram. So there's 12 colours featuring 3 unique textures, including 7 matte eyeshadows, 4 shimmers and 1 multi-chrome. And the multi-chrome is the shade Glow Vortex. It's apparently a very dreamy pink shifting multi-chrome eyeshadow with a light base, but it's not really clear as to what it's shifting to, which I wish there was a little bit more information on that. But there's aspects of this that kind of reminds me a little bit of when Raw Beauty Christy did her collaboration with Pure, and also the Colourpop collaboration, because there's that little bit of teal and then there's some really nice neutrals in there and pops of colour. I think this is really nicely done. And just FYI, apparently the inspiration for this palette comes from Jormungandr, which I probably butchered, but it's apparently the Midgard serpent in Norse mythology, which means monstrous creature. I will say I don't feel like this palette is necessarily a monstrous creature, but it's quite interesting. Annette's portion of the collaboration also features 3 lip products, and they are, by the way, 100% vegan. There's their Glow Lip Gloss, which is apparently a hydrating lip colour, and it's in the shade Breath of Fire, a coral pink orange base with blue purple micro shimmer. I mean, that is quite interesting. And there are 2 shine lip stains. So the first one here is Snake Kiss, a terracotta orange red shade. And both of these are meant to be lightweight and moisturising. And the final shade then is Mythic Rose, a light rosy base with very subtle blue micro shimmer. And again, Annette actually showed these swatched on her hand over on her Instagram, which I think is really helpful to see how they compare to each other. And you can see they do work really nicely together as part of a very cohesive colour story. Next, we have the Fancy Faces Earthwood palette. And I mean, the outside alone is absolutely breathtaking. And I mean, lads, you know me, that pop of green down in the bottom right-hand corner, that's got me. I love when greens and purples are mixed together. It's always so much fun. Like, I love that juxtaposition. As with Annette's palette, again, we're looking at a 12-pan eyeshadow palette. However, this time we have 4 different textures. There's 7 mattes, 3 shimmers, 1 metallic, and 1 multi-chrome eyeshadow. And I have to say, looking at the swatches, they look so beautiful and earthy and kind of muted. I kind of like that. I think it's really pretty. By the way, the shade Beauty is a grass green base multi-chrome eyeshadow with shifting shades of light gold. Now that's quite a common multi-chrome, like seeing a green to gold, but I think it's quite smart when you look at it in regards to the rest of the colour story. But of course, Fancy Face has her own lip products coming out as part of this collection, and by the way, they are also $13.90 each. There's Creativity, which is a glow lip gloss, a translucent light orange base with delicate hints of pink purple micro shimmer. Again, we have 2 different lip stains. There's Endurance, which is a vibrant orange toned shine lip stain. And then there's Brilliance, which is a glossy, bright, rosy pink shade. It's quite unusual. I really like the look of this. And I know I'm kind of going backwards a little bit on this, but I wanted to show you Annette's picture of Fancy Faces palette because I really feel like this truly captures a lot of the really interesting shimmery shades. And Annette also showed the shades of these lip glosses and lip stains on her as well. And while you can see that there is a little bit of a correspondence between Annette and Fancy Faces collection, I wouldn't say that they dupe each other. I feel like they more kind of complement each other. And finally, we have Judy's portion of the collection, the Spring Dragon palette, and that is going to retail for $36.90. And the link with spring here is just so obvious here. You've got some really nice pastel, sort of vibrant shades. I think this is really clever. And according to the website, the inspiration for the Spring Dragon palette comes from low saturation colour combinations, which are perfect for adding a soft and cute atmosphere to your makeup looks during the spring season. And I have to say, yeah, I can see that. I think that's really cute. And I would probably think about using this as a sort of a companion palette to other palettes, because there's a lot of shades in here that you could use for like blending out. I feel like there aren't enough really good pastel palettes out there. Unlike Annette and Fancy Faces palette, Judy's palette does not have any multi-chromes. Instead, there are 7 mattes, 4 shimmers and 1 metallic eyeshadow. I mean, that's what it says on the website, and yet when I'm reading down through the description, it says that the shade Plum is a dual colour shifting purple eyeshadow with rich colour variations. So it does sound like that leans a little bit duochrome-y. I think that's quite interesting nonetheless. And again, Annette has shown this palette really well in the light, and you can see like how pigmented it is while still being very pastel, which is, by the way, a very hard feat. I kind of love the shade of that mint. That looks very nice. As with the previous collaborators, Judy also has her own lip collection, and each of these are $13.90. But what's different here is that she doesn't have a gloss. Instead, she has a matte lip stain in the shade Tulips, which is a gentle shade of light rosy pink matte lip colour. And then she has 2 shades of the Shine lip stains. So this is Buttercup, which is a soft coral pink orange hue. And we have Dahlia, which is a very light rosy pink, but I think this is looking really pretty. What I really appreciate about this entire massive collection is that they do all complement each other, and yet they are their own distinct collections. You can see that each of these influencers or collaborators have kind of had their own journey with this and decided, oh, well, I want this formula or I don't want this formula. And I really like seeing that it's not like a copy and paste across each of them. Like, do you see what I mean? All of these palettes do work really well together, but will work by themselves in isolation, which I think is smart. Let's be real, Oden's Eye generally do extremely well on any of their launches, and then you add in the fact that they're doing very popular collaborators. This is gonna do well for them. Like, let's be 100% real. Obviously, the best value is if you're getting the full bundle. And I say value being very like, because it's still like $200, but you're saving like $35. I'm assuming they're going to have other bundles of like the lip products, etc. I think this is nice. I will say I'm not on a no buy or a low buy, but I'm trying to be a little bit less ridiculous with the amount that I'm buying. So at the moment, even though I like specific shades of this and I'm like, yeah, I could use this, I'm also being realistic and kind of going, come on now, Teresa, do not be a silly goose. I do like anything I've tried from Oden's Eye. I think the quality is pretty darn good. But as much as I think these are nice, I don't think they quite pull me enough to pull the trigger and be like, oh, I'm gonna purchase these. But let me know what you guys think. Are there aspects of this that you really love, or aspects that you kind of wish they'd changed? As far as I know, this is going to be limited edition, as was the case with their previous collection. So if you do want this, you're going to have to kind of hop on it really quick. And I think that's the other kind of like thing I find a little bit, I wish there was a little bit more notice given, because I mean, things are tricky for a lot of people financially. And if you're a big supporter of these collaborators, you can't necessarily go off and buy them if you haven't budgeted for it. So I think that can be really tricky for a lot of people. And then, let's be real, there's always scalpers just buying these things and then selling them off on Mercari for like ridiculous amounts of money. Anyways, that was a little bit of a tangent. Let me know what you guys think. I feel like it was done pretty darn well. Really nice spring theme. Not bad.